Hi everyone, I'm William from Own This Property and welcome back to the channel. With the first half of 2024 behind us, I thought what better time to give you guys an update on how the new launch market has performed so far and what are the things to look out for in the second half of this year. So this video will include all the updates and the latest info that we have received so far. If you haven't seen my 3-part video primer on the Ultimate Guide to New Launches 2024, split into the OCR, RCR, and CCR, do check them out. I left their link in the description below. As always, I'll be sharing with you my unique perspective and in-depth analysis that others do not cover. So by the end of the video, you have a clear understanding and strategy on how to navigate the second half of 2024. If you like what you see, do reach out to me on WhatsApp and I'll be happy to share more. And if you like a copy of the Ultimate Guide to New Launches 2024, fill up the Google form in the link below and I'll be happy to share it with you. Now back to the video. So has the first half of 2024 been a good period for new home sales in Singapore? The short answer is no. In fact, the first half of 2024 home sales are the lowest in 20 years. That might actually surprise many buyers because their impression is that the market is doing great. Now, sales volume in the first half this year is even lower than the global financial crisis back in 2008. However, one key thing to note is that the low volume does not necessarily translate to lower prices. On the supply side, sales volume hit a record low mainly because the number of units launched was also at a new low. Don't forget that due to the lag effect of property, many of the launches today are from the very low supply base of the COVID years. In addition, the combination of macroeconomic uncertainty and high interest rates have also caused developers to be more prudent in the past. That, however, is expected to improve going forward. On the demand side, volume has been low due to buyer uncertainty stemming from high interest rates. When interest rates are high, buyers might delay their purchase as they feel that the mortgage payments might be too high. However, the reality is that the fixed rate has already fallen from 4% in November 2022 to 2.75% today, and it is expected to continue to fall. So why are interest rates still a concern among buyers to cause a delay in their purchase? Now, we have something very unique in Singapore called the stress test rate. Whenever you apply for a mortgage, the bank uses the stress test rate to determine your loan eligibility instead of the actual interest rate you will be charged should you take up a mortgage. Today, the stress test rate is still at 4.7%. Hence, the loan eligibility of a buyer today, compared to the past when the stress test rate was only 3.5%, is much lower, even if their income levels have remained the same. All these cooling measures have trickled into the system, as noted in MAS's latest Financial Stability Review. The left chart shows that outstanding loans have moderated, and the right chart shows that new housing loans have declined from the highs of the past 2 years. Why do I think that demand is delayed and not destroyed? That's because household income levels have still remained healthy. On the left chart, we see that household net worth has continued to be healthy, and on the right chart, liquid assets remain much larger than overall household debt. This means that the households have a lot of dry powder on hand that can be deployed once sentiment improves. With interest rates falling, it is only a matter of time before the stress test rate falls. What I've done here is calculate based on a 25-year mortgage, the property budget of individuals at different income levels. Should the stress test rate fall from 4.7% today to 4% in the future, there will be an immediate boost in buying power of 7.5%. So the question is, should you enter the market now when stress test rates are still high, or should you enter the market after the stress test rate falls and buyers suddenly have a boost of about 7.5% to their budget? I'm interested to find out, so please leave your comments below on what you think. With that said, what were the launches that have launched so far and how did they perform? Here's a full list of a summary of these launches. The year started off quietly with Hill Haven and Lentoria selling less than 20% at launch, while Arcady at Boon Keng sold about 25% at launch. This was a reflection of weak buyer sentiment at the beginning of the year. Now, buyers are also more savvy and know that there are better options to choose from coming up. This played out in the subsequent launch in Lentor, where Lentor Mansion sold an astounding 75% of units on launch day. Lumina Grand, which was the only EC expected in 2024, did fantastic as expected. A lack of EC supply has caused a higher number of units sold. Launch day sales performance is but one metric, and while there are many uncertainties in the market today, buyer demand has steadily improved. Fast forward to today, many of the launches in 2024 have performed well. Even those poor launch day sales projects such as Hillhaven and Lentoria have since picked up in sales. With that behind us, here's a quick snapshot of all the launches in 2024 and their corresponding ranks, which I've analysed in my Ultimate Guide to New Launches 2024 series. We now know many of the development names and I've updated them in this slide. Notice that some of the rankings have also changed. For example, I've downgraded the Champions Way GLS, now known as Norwood Grand, from S to A, while Hillhaven, Sora, Nava Grove, which is the Pine Grove Parcel B, and Oriole have all been upgraded. Now, these rankings change as I receive more information that changes my initial analysis that I did at the beginning of the year. For example, Hillhaven and Sora have been upgraded as their actual selling price turned out to be lower than what I expected. Oriole has also been upgraded due to the development's upside potential improving. On the other hand, I've downgraded Norwood Grand from S to A. Now, this is still an excellent development, but with more understanding of the resale transactions in the area, I have lowered my ranking slightly. Moving on, here's a list of all the upcoming launches expected in the second half of this year as of the filming of this video on the 20th of August. I've also included my estimated average PSF that they will sell at based on resale comparables, market sentiment, and the development's break-even price. We have the hugely anticipated Chuan Park and Emerald of Katong, which I've ranked highly in my initial analysis. I'll definitely be doing my usual in-depth analysis of these two developments, so please subscribe to my channel so that you'll be notified when all these videos are released. Moving on, here's the latest info I have on some of the upcoming launches this year. First up, we have Chuan Park by Kingsford, which is one of my top picks of 2024, and the latest I hear is that the preview should start anytime soon. A quick recap, this is what I like and don't like about the development. Chuan Park will have 916 units spanning 5 residential blocks and 2 commercial shop units. With so many units, this development is actually not too dense as compared to Emerald of Katong. Being directly next to Lorong Chuan MRT, it is also common that there are only 80% car park provisions. Looking at the layouts available, we have a range of 2-bedroom all the way to 5-bedroom units. Unfortunately, we don't have the exact unit mix or layouts yet. Now, this is a pre-URA harmonization project, so the size includes the aircon ledges. And looking at the 2-bedroom layouts, we have good sizes of 700 square feet, which is most likely a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, which also means that there won't be any 2-bedroom, 1-bath unit available. Chuan Park will also offer a 915 square feet 3-bedroom classic, or what we usually call a 3-bedroom compact, which I think should be very popular amongst buyers. Looking at the area map, the north-facing units will get permanently unblocked views overlooking the landed cluster, so I do expect that the north-facing units will be priced at a slight premium compared to the south-facing units. One key concern I hear on the ground is the selling price. Now, because this is an en bloc, the developer Kingsford did pay a slightly higher price and will arrive at the break-even price of $2,229 per square feet. Assuming an average profit margin of 20%, I expect the average selling price to be around $2,600 per square feet. Now, is this high? Well, I think it's neither high nor low. If we take the best comparable, which is the Scala, the age gap of 15 years multiplied by $50 per square feet jump in price per year, we arrive at the price of about $2,600 per square feet. So as long as you don't pay in the region upwards of $2,700 per square feet, I think that it is still a safe and acceptable entry price. Next, we have another one of my top picks of 2024, Emerald of Katong by Sim Lian. Here's a quick recap of what I like and don't like about this development. Compared to Chuan Park, Emerald of Katong is a denser development with 846 units spanning 6 blocks. A piece of great news that further cements my conviction in this development is that the developer has stated that the car park is going to be a full basement car park, which allows Emerald to stand out from its neighbouring competitor Tembusu Grand, which uses a multi-storey car park. Unit sizes will start from 1 bedroom plus study up to 5 bedrooms. Notice that the sizes are smaller on paper because this falls under the URA harmonization rules, so the sizes exclude the aircon ledges. Unfortunately, once again, we do not have the exact unit mix or layouts yet. One thing that might also disappoint investors is the 2 bedrooms start here from the 2 bedroom premium classification, so there might not be any 2 bedroom 1 bath available. In terms of price, many buyers are hoping that it will be good or even lower than Tembusu Grand due to Emerald of Katong's low land bid price. However, not to bust your bubble, but I think that the probability is going to be very, very low. So hear me out and let's look at this objectively. Firstly, I think there is a 50% chance that it will be at least 5% more expensive. Now, this is based on all the case studies and examples we have over the years, where a development was launched within a year of another launch in the same location. The most recent example would be Sora. Even though Sora's developers bought the land for 12.2% cheaper, their eventual average selling price of $2,140 per square feet was still higher than the Lake Gardens launch average of $2,104 per square feet. Next, I give it a 35% probability that prices will be 10% higher for two reasons. Firstly, Chuan Park is expected to launch before Emerald and set a new benchmark price. Secondly, we need to recognize that Tembusu Grand is already 72% sold to date, and CDL recently indicated that they will raise prices again. This might actually give Sim Lian greater confidence to price slightly higher, as there's no reason for them to sell cheap to compete. Hence, Sim Lian has little reason to price lower because the market would have already accepted $2,600 per square feet for an RCR project that is near the MRT. Next, one can dream, and I do recognize a slight chance that Sim Lian might suddenly feel generous and just want to sell more units on launch day and stage prices higher later, considering that this is almost a mega development with over 800 units. However, I think that the probability is very low at 10%. Let's take a look at Sim Lian's pricing strategy as a developer. The most recent example is Botany at Dairy Farm. There was a previous launch there called Dairy Farm Residences, which was close to being fully sold, and in 2023 was selling at about $1,800 to $1,900 per square feet. What price did Sim Lian sell at launch in March 2023? It sold higher at $2,070 per square feet. So developers price their properties not solely based on their land bid price, but also factor in demand and supply and market pricing in the area. Is it possible for prices to be lower? Well, nothing is impossible, and this might happen in a scenario where the economy takes a drastic downturn, recession, or rate hikes are happening instead of the expected rate cuts. So after hearing my analysis, let me know what you think on whether Emerald of Katong will be selling at the same price, higher or lower than Tembusu Grand. So what prices do I expect Emerald of Katong to sell at? Based on the only example we have in the market today of a pre and post URA harmonization project being side by side, where Lentor Mansion was launched at an average PSF that was 8% higher than Lentor Hills, I expect Emerald of Katong to sell at an average of about $2,700 per square feet. For projects where there's a difference in the URA harmonization rules, we should focus more on the quantum rather than the PSF. Next, let's head over to the Beauty World, where we have 8 at BT, which will also be launching in September. Now, I don't really rate this project very highly and gave it a C rank because it is a small development with only 155 units. The land attributes are also inferior to its neighbouring new launch, the Reserve Residences, which is an integrated development with 732 units. I do have a lot more information to share about it at BT. It will have two 20-story blocks, and being close to the MRT, 80% car park will be provided. And as expected, it will not have a tennis court due to its small land plot. What you do get, however, is great north views of Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. In terms of unit mix, we have 1 bedroom to 4 bedroom and penthouses. And the 1 and 2 bedrooms account for about 50% of the development, which is a good unit mix. We also have the layouts of the units, and this is where I see a few positives. Firstly, this layout is classic Bukit Sembawang. Similar to their latest launch called Live at MB, their unique 1-bedroom layout is very popular amongst buyers, and it even comes with a kitchen that has a window for natural ventilation. Similarly, the 2 bedrooms have windows at the kitchen and toilets, allowing for natural ventilation. Notice that even the smaller 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom units have a home shelter, which some might like due to the added storage space. However, looking at their 732 square feet 2 bedroom layout, which should be a full-size 2 bedroom with 2 baths, sacrifices have been made. Although we get more storage space, the second bathroom is actually only a powder room, and more space had to be sacrificed, resulting in a smaller common bedroom too. Here's a quick look at their larger units, and I do like that their 3 bedroom layouts have that wider frontage, which allows you to place the dining area behind the living area. Lastly, their 4 bedroom layout will come with 4 full-size bedrooms and a private lift. In terms of pricing, I'm a bit more uncertain about it at BT. Reserve Residences is more than 90% sold to date and an average price of $2,491 per square feet. 8 at BT's break-even price is $2,282 per square feet. And I do not think that the developer will have much pricing power, as buyers should be aware that this is a much smaller project. So factoring in a lower profit margin of 15%, we arrive at an estimated price of about $2,600 per square feet. The last update I'll cover in this video is Aurea, where I've upgraded my ranking from B to A. In the recent National Day rally, PM Lawrence Wong crystallized plans on how the southern coast of Singapore will be transformed. This includes new residential and recreational plots in Nicole, Kampong Bugis and Tanjong Rhu, which is where Aurea is located. I was also previously skeptical about the exit strategy of Aurea due to its lack of future resale buyers. But with all the rejuvenation plans expected in the area, I do think that Aurea will have a great first mover advantage for buyers today. Hence, I think that Aurea, despite its flaws of being a small development, has more pros than cons and warrants an upgrade to A rank. To put everything together, with over 10 launches expected in the second half of 2024, I think that there are some great options that you should definitely not miss. Human psychology is a funny thing. When things are rosy and good, people have the confidence to buy at even higher prices. But when things are bad and gloomy, you lack confidence, fear, and have decision paralysis. So stay tuned to my next video where I'll share my market outlook for the second half of 2024 and also share with you my top 3 risks and opportunities that you should know before making a decision. If you are interested to buy a property, do reach out to me on WhatsApp for a one-on-one obligation-free consultation. Now, our first discussion is not about selling any particular product, but more about focusing on helping you gain clarity on your property options. And if you are exploring the new launch market in 2024, be it Chuan Park, Emerald of Katong, 8 at BT, or any of the other new launches that I've mentioned in this video, do reach out to me on WhatsApp as well. And if those are not your cup of tea, I've also compiled an alternatives in my ultimate guide to new launches 2024. So if you'd like a copy of the PDF, do fill up the Google form link below. And with that, we've reached the end. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.